The language bridge, how knowing one helps you learn another. Introduction. Learning English can feel like trying to cross a big, tricky ocean. You might have studied for a long time, memorized many words, and struggled with grammar rules that are hard to understand. It can make you feel stuck, and becoming good at English might seem very far away. You might think you are not good at learning languages, or that English is too different from your own language. But what if the best way to learn English is not just using more books or doing more exercises? What if the most helpful thing you already have is the language you speak every day, your first language? And what if knowing another language, maybe even a third one, can also help you a lot? This book will show you that understanding how your own language works, and even how a third language works, can help you learn English better. It shows that learning languages is connected, and what you already know about languages is a helpful tool, not a problem. The main idea of this book is connected language learning. This means we don't learn languages one by one, like separate islands. Instead, we see that our minds that learn languages are like a big web. When you learn a new language, you don't start with nothing, you use what you already know. Your first language and any other languages you know give you a plan, mental tools, and a good idea of how language works in general. This connection is like a bridge we will explore. For a long time, people have learned languages as if each one was completely separate. We learn our first language without even thinking about it. Then, when we learn a second or third language, we often treat it as something totally new, forgetting how much our existing language knowledge can help. By using connected language learning, you will see how understanding the way your own language puts sentences together can help you understand English grammar more easily. You will learn to find similar patterns in different languages, which makes learning new words easier. You will feel more confident when you realize that knowing other languages is a strength, not a weakness. This book will give you a new way to look at learning languages. Instead of seeing yourself as someone struggling with a foreign language, you will start to see yourself as someone who can communicate well, using all the language knowledge you have to learn English. With clear explanations, easy-to-understand examples, and useful tips, we will show you how to use what you already know to learn English faster. In the next parts, we will go on a learning adventure. We will start by looking closely at how your own language is built and discover the rules you already use without thinking. Then, we will see how knowing a third language can give you even more special ideas. Finally, we will put it all together and show you practical ways to use this connected understanding to learn English. Our way of teaching is meant to be easy and make you feel good about learning. We want to make language learning simple, so that big ideas are easy to understand and use. This is not about difficult school words, it is about making you strong in learning languages. Are you ready to find the hidden power in your own language mind? Are you ready to build your language bridge to speaking English well? This book will help you see language learning not as a list of hard tasks, but as a connected, strong, and possible journey. Let's start building your bridge. 1. Understanding the basics of language learning. You know a lot already. Think about your own language. You know what a thing is called a noun, what an action is a verb, and how to put words together to make a sentence. This is like having a strong base. You are not starting from nothing when you learn English. You can often see how English words and sentences work by comparing them to what you already know. For example, if your language has a word for happy and a way to say someone is happy, you already understand the idea of a word that describes someone. This makes learning English words like happy or sad much easier. You can also look for what is the same and what is different in how languages ask questions or talk about things that happened before. Looking at these things helps you learn faster. 1. Learning English is a foundation. You know a lot already. Think about your own language. You know what a thing is called a noun, what an action is a verb, and how to put words together to make a sentence. This is like having a strong base. You are not starting from nothing when you learn English. You can often see how English words and sentences work by comparing them to what you already know. For example, if your language has a word for happy and a way to say someone is happy, you already understand the idea of a word that describes someone. This makes learning English words like happy or sad much easier. You can also look for what is the same and what is different in how languages ask questions or talk about things that happened before. Looking at these things helps you learn faster. 2. Benefits of knowing multiple languages. Learning another language is like giving your brain more tools. When you see how sentences work in Spanish, you start to find patterns. This helps you become a detective for English sentences. You'll understand why we put words in a certain order and why verbs change. Words that sound alike can also help. If you know French, you might see the English word information and know what it means right away. Learning to make new sounds in Mandarin can help your ears hear difficult English sounds you didn't notice before. This practice makes learning English faster and easier. It all works together. 3. How languages support each other. If you know one language well, like your very first language or one you have already learned, it's like having a special guide for learning English. Think about how we make sentences. If you know how to arrange words in your own language, such as saying I eat an apple, you already get the idea of a main actor I in action eat and what the action is done to an apple. English often puts words in the same order. This helps you find common ways things are done. Also, learning any language makes your brain stronger at keeping new words in your memory and understanding new rules. Many English words have roots in older languages. So, you might see words that look like ones you know, such as information if you speak Spanish or French. Everything is linked together. Conclusion: you have spent time learning about how languages are connected. Maybe you thought learning English would be hard and separate from what you already know. Or maybe you wondered if knowing other languages could help. The main idea is simple but strong. Knowing your own language and even another one doesn't stop you from learning English. It actually helps you learn it. We showed that understanding how languages are built, like their rules, grammar, and how they are put together structure, is like having a secret key. This key opens doors to new languages like English. We hope you realized that learning languages is not a bunch of separate puzzles. It's more like a connected map. What you already know about languages is not a wall, but a helpful tool like a bridge. We called this idea connected language learning. It means every language you know or are learning is like a piece of a bigger picture of talking. Each piece makes the others stronger, making the whole picture clearer and more interesting. We saw how your first language gives you the basic plan. Knowing about things like names of things, nouns, action words, verbs, and how to put words in order to make sentences in your own language gives you a way to think. When you see these in English, you're not starting from nothing. You're seeing things you recognize. Think about how knowing how to ask questions in your first language helps you see how questions are asked in English, even if the words are different. We also saw that knowing a third language can be surprisingly helpful. Learning a third language often makes you think more carefully about the rules and small details of language that you might have just accepted in your first language. This careful thinking can be used for English too. The common thing in all these connections is how important grammar and structure are. These aren't just random rules. They are the way languages work. By looking closely at and understanding these parts in one language, you get a strong way to look at other languages. This is not just for school, it's a smart way to learn. It means you can use what you already know, saving time and making it less frustrating. It changes language learning from trying to remember things into a way of thinking and comparing. The most important thing to remember is to change how you think. Instead of thinking your background and other languages might cause confusion like words that look alike but mean different things, start seeing it as a source of helpful hints and ways to compare. Use your brain that knows many languages. It's a very strong thing to have. When you see a new English word or a new way to put sentences together, ask yourself, does this remind me of anything in my first language? Or in third language? How is it the same? How is it different? Instead of just trying to memorize lists of words, try to understand the basic rules. How do English action words work? How are sentences built? Compare these to what you already know. Don't let words that look similar but mean different things upset you. They are good chances to get better at thinking and understanding how words have different meanings. When you get stuck, don't be afraid to change an idea or a sentence back into your own language to understand its main meaning. Then try to say it again in English. Look for books or websites that show how English grammar is like other languages. These can be very helpful. By using what you already know about languages, you build confidence. Every time you compare successfully, every time you understand a new English idea by looking at it through the lens of another language, it's a win. Learning a language is not an end, but a continuing trip of finding new things. The ideas of connected language learning will help you not just with English, but with any language you want to learn later. The world of languages is big and connected, and now you have a strong new way to move through it. You have learned how to build your own language bridges. Your first language is one side, English is the other side, and what you know about your other languages makes the strong supports and paths that join them. These bridges make it easier, faster, and more meaningful to move between different languages. So go ahead. Be proud of knowing many languages. Use the knowledge you already have as your best tool. Keep exploring, comparing, and connecting. The more you build these language bridges, the bigger your world will become. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We wish you the very best as you continue to learn languages.